planted.
What up, everybody? Welcome to SpikeTalk episode 6. I'm Babybay. I'm here with your boy FrosT. And we got Steve in the back, bro. Of course, it is what it is. We're going to go straight to it once more. Straight to the talking points. Let's just talk about the NA juice, bro. Minus QCK. Potentially minus Sodhawk. We got these rumors going around that NRG's trying to buy Sodhawk and less. I don't know. This shit's crazy, bro. It's crazy out here, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to unpack here, dude. Okay.
Where do we begin, man? Because it's
first off,
this is tough.
The minus quick to me is hilarious because it goes back to stuff we've been talking about for weeks. And I don't know the internals, but I wonder if Sodhawk, I respect them enough to feel like if that's a move that they think makes them better, I won't argue with it. But to me, the duelist spot isn't the problem. Sure, obviously, the jump from playing at the level that he needed to play at to try to mimic and replicate Osbos is kind of crazy for sure.
Yeah,
but I feel like who on the open market would have been? I mean, even it's insane to me to think that
I don't know who they're gonna get.
You thought, you would have been able to copy paste the an exact system and the game theory and all that stuff when you are replacing Osbos. To me, you would need to start over and completely revamp everything that you were doing. And if you're going to do that,
a whole new team,
then you can't blame QCK because QCK is not playing poorly. So it's
I don't know, man. It's tough, bro, because he's not playing well either.
Yeah, but the thing is, this league system is different. Example, I mean, we talked about this for weeks. Yeah, man, bro, we talked about this shit for weeks in regards to Pacific. But just think about it. These guys go to Madrid, they come back, they have visa problems, they can't really practice. All of a sudden, they start playing. They have a game. Right? They have a game, then they have a game 4 days later. Now they're 0-2. Then they have another game. In the midst of that third game, remember they switched comps, so they got I believe it was minus Phoenix from Ascent to something else. Was it Yoru? I don't remember now, but I mean, and then before you know, Yoru 304. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they did, but the point I'm trying to make is
maybe you're right. Yeah,
before you know it, you're chaining losses. Look what happened to T1. T1 wasn't doing well. Look at Secret was 0-2, right? And then they turn it around, end up 3-2. T1 obviously ended up 2-4. Now the system blessed them by allowing them to end up making Shanghai, right? But just think about this, what's the difference really between the start that T1 had and obviously LOUD? Sure, you could be like, yo, LOUD is I mean, I'm pretty sure LOUD is 2-4, no? Record-wise.
I don't remember, but I know they made it in 2-3.
2-3. Okay, so but if they were in APAC, there's a chance T1 was
make it all the way. Yeah.
Right. So my point is tough, and then are you thinking of changes? And this is just a problem I've had in Valorant in specific or in esports in general. Right. I think the game that is the worst for this is still Rocket League. I don't think anything will beat that. But I'm definitely disappointed that Valorant skews so young that people just think, roster changes and player movement is the thing you need to do. It's everyone hits the fucking panic button. In reality, I don't think that LOUD is broken. I think it's just ugly start, very unfortunate. And also, and I have to say this, again, I don't want anybody to think I'm being critical of Sodhawk. I don't know, and I don't speak to Sodhawk regularly anyway, so it's not like I have inside information, or I'm even cool with him enough to speak out of turn. So I'm not trying to be out of pocket, but I'm just saying, if he's not smart enough to realize that the opposite group he played, the worst record is 3-3. So it just so happened that they ran into a dominant group on the other side and had a terrible start to the season because of the visa stuff and going to Madrid and all that other stuff. Yeah. So it's just because this is the facts, and your season it's not even over, but your season might be, in tatters. Now all of a sudden it's, hit the panic button, hit the panic button, hit the panic button. I just think that is so insane. And I feel terrible for the people involved because like, I wonder if it's just the stress of like losing a year is now making people go crazy.
Yeah. I mean, just to give my 2 cents on it, like, you're 100% correct when you say that roster changes aren't always the answer, and it can snowball out of control really fast, bro. I mean, when I lost flyuh, I mean, it was only one piece to the puzzle, right? On that old phase roster, we got third with them that year, I believe, third. And honestly, it kind of came down to, we kind of choked. I feel like we probably could have won that LCQ had we all just been 100%. But had we, I truly believe, had we had kept flyuh going into that next year, even with Dicey, keep in mind we got rid of flyuh and we were trying to get like an Ethan type player or whatever. Just for those that don't know,
I remember
there was
that.
a world in which,
that was close.
and I haven't talked about this. I don't think the public knows about it, but there's a world in which FaZe, before we picked up flyuh again, we would have had Ethan, which would have been fucking crazy. So when we actually played the rest of the season with flyuh, and by the way, flyuh did amazing. He did such a good job. And like, honestly, the team didn't even want to pick him up, but I was a big component of being like, yo, I played with this guy already on the first remake of this roster. Like, trust me, I know he's that guy for the team, and he was mid-rounding, helping us out. He played all the bitch roles, Like, I know there isn't
people that do
I know there's not a bitch role. I know there's not a bitch role, but like,
I know what you mean.
To me, like when you're playing Sova and you got to know the lineups, and I think we had him on Breach,
bro. It's the same. It's the same thing Cruz is doing this season for us, bro.
Yeah.
He's playing all the dirty roles.
Yeah, it's considered the dirty roles. That's a better word for it. Dirty roles. Right. So he filled in that gap perfectly for our team. But when we lost him, we lost so much that came along with him. And I know that QCK hasn't been in the team a long time, but obviously Les has been in there for a long time. And I mean, Les is a whole different story. Obviously, the two are getting replaced for different reasons. But I think it's scary to me for this team of LOUD, because when I think of LOUD, I think of a confident team that looks towards the end of the year. I don't think that LOUD has ever cared about any other early tournaments. It's nice that they make it, and it's a personal feels good. But even last year, when you look at their record with Ospas, I don't know. Did they attend every event? I'm not sure if they attended every event. I know that they didn't perform the best. But either way, I know they didn't win every event, right?
Dude, yes.
And then by the time the end of the year came around, look at the
I know
the streak
top
they got
three
together.
Top three, right? Top three at Worlds, and they could have won actually.
Dude, yeah, so it's close.
Like, they were close. Look, if you look at the season 2 format, right? We talked about season 2 being more important than season 1. They're technically right now 1 game away from qualification.
Yeah.
They're like a game behind the last spot.
And brother, like, just real quick, just to inject real quick,
crazy,
the team that they lost to won NA. The team that knocked them out of the playoffs won NA. So it's like, I agree. Like, I think they're hitting the panic button like crazy. Yeah. I don't know about what the real scenario is with Les, but if it is the financial decision, I guess that's out of your hands, right? Maybe Les is like, oh, I want more money, and the org just can't provide that. And that key factor is out of your hands for sure. Yeah, but I feel like replacing two people is so hard to do, man. And again, I got to relate it back again to my career. Last year, when at first we replaced flyuh, we picked up Rossi. Shout out to Rossi, who I'm going to see in Shanghai. We picked up Rossi, and then we had Rossi and Dicey. In the middle of the season, or around mid-season, around this time, for what would be equivalent for this VCT in challengers for me, we replaced Rossi and we replaced Dicey, and we picked up Mame and Tig, and they did a good job filling in the roles. But we ended up, I believe, we ended up being a weaker team than when we had Rossi and Dicey. But I mean, we hit the panic button, bro. And what happens when you hit the panic button? I'm not saying that it was a mistake that we picked them up, because we actually like salvaged whatever we had left of that year playing with Mame and Tig. But I believe that if we just grinded it out and stuck it through, maybe we would have had a way better chance of making a deeper run later in the year. We let that long-term picture of we need to win the tournament that gets us into VCT. We let that slip out of our minds, and we let the short-term results flood our brains. And that decision was probably it was never. I feel like it's never a good decision that way. Barely works out.
Thing I find interesting is, and again, I don't know this, but I'm experienced enough and have been around long enough to kind of like see the patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's probably happening is an NA team, or I mean, everyone knows it's probably going to be like NRG is the one that's like in here, right? NRG has done this forever, right? And let's not get into the specifics of what I mean. Just they're throwing money everywhere, and let's not talk about the fact that they have the highest paid roster in all of Valorant right now, and they're basically buns, right? So, like they're the bottom of group alpha, right? And if you would have asked anyone if that would have been the case in the beginning of the year, everybody would have laughed, right? So let's just leave that there. What's happening is, and I experienced this last year with Furia, most of the Brazilian players in the league are at league minimum. LOUD winning right before franchise changed everything because it forced LOUD to then start having, by the way, LOUD almost broke up immediately because all the Brazilian teams are basically like, yo, we'll pay you more, right? Because I believe they went from like 8K to like 10K salary. Just once they won, they were at like 10K. And then obviously Sasi and Pacada left to get, you know, I know the numbers, but I don't want to like, you know, pocket watch, right? It was pretty public. The money before, the amount of money before. So all I'm gonna say is, look at what the chasing of money did to someone like Pagada, for instance. In my opinion, and I was telling this to everybody, he is the key to why they won the championship. And from the smoke spot, I mean, it was like clear as day to me that, like, you know,
he's insane, bro.
That was such a massive advantage in the series that they had in the finals. Optic pretty much had no answer. I mean, sure, Sasi obviously played well, but you'll know this because it's easier to play well from the initiator spot than it ever will be playing the smoke spot, especially against top tier teams. You know what I'm saying? That's why everyone loves Mako so much, right? Because the consistency of Mako from the smoke spot is not something you see anywhere.
Yeah.
That's also why Jimmy, who we'll talk about probably later.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about him next because we're already talking about NRG. Yeah.
So Marved is like was so touted because it's really hard to get that level of production from that position, right? So they go to an NA, they get paid more. Obviously, the first season was a complete wash, right? Complete wash, right? And obviously, he got benched. Sasi endured, got kind of fortunate. But, like, the allure of the amount of money you can make as a Brazilian player paying on an NA org is always going to be a problem because the reais to the American dollar is 5-1.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you're talking life-changing, family-changing money right now.
So I understand what's happening now. It's, wait, this team, you know what? I have to be very careful because I'm in the league. So I'm not going to say anyone is tampering. All I'm going to say is if I know that another team is going to pay me a lot of money and they're technically supposed to go through my org first and they're not, I'm going to be pretty salty if I can make a hell of a lot more money. I'm going to be like, yo, listen, we're playing bad. These guys want me. Let's make it happen. The org is basically going to be like, you do realize you're under contract, fam, right? Like, you know, it's cool you can make all that money, but like, you know, and it's weird because I've been on both sides, right? Org owner. I've also been a GM in Valorant, right, for multiple organizations.
Yeah.
And I'm a coach, so I'm on the other side where like, wait, they want to pay me how much? I'm making this much. So I understand all sides of this. What I just find funny is that, like, you know, this stuff is willing to basically throw a season away when you're one game out from like making playoffs next season. And then your top 3 finish means I'm in Worlds anyway. And it's like, yeah, bro, you can basically try to like jerry rig a new team. But like the thing I find so funny about the rumors from the NRG perspective is they already built a super team.
I know, it's weird. It's
And
so
now you're going to build
weird,
another
man.
super team, but now you're going to build it
so
with two
weird.
people that aren't American and don't speak your language. And sure, Sadok's English isn't terrible, but I mean, I don't know. I just find it, to me, kind of hilarious that this whole thing is going down the way that it's going down.
It's crazy. I don't think we'll ever be here again.
Well, but it's just weird to me that I think the rumors have gotten this far that you have all of these, articles being written up. Streamers are talking about it. It's like all this hotness, and it's like all of you guys should be preparing for season 2. That's going to happen way faster than you think, right?
It's quick,
potential
man.
Map changes. The meta's already evolved.
So 1 month. Like, 1 month is not a lot of time, by the way, for people that like are out there. 1 month within a team, bro, you're just gonna iron out like a couple setups, bro, if you're lucky, bro.
That's right.
It's tough.
It's crazy, bro. It's just it. And look, I respect the players and the organizations to make whatever decision they want. It's obviously not my place to question it. But as a guy that is not only on the inside of a lot of this and has been there and done that and, has been around, it's just crazy to me because, I could say this personally. No one wanted me last year, or particularly coming off of last year. No one wanted me this season. Sorry. No one. Right? Basically, the last opportunity I had in T1, or Tier 1 specifically, was Talon. So I was in no position to leverage like anything, right? Now, all of a sudden, that shit is way different, right? It's like a team that was last year basically bottom of the league, ninth total in the league. Now we're top 4. Basically, the only team that beat us in playoffs basically ended up winning the whole thing, right? And we almost beat them. In my opinion, we had good chances, right? So
I actually
know what the hell it's like to be less right now.
Yeah.
But my mindset is on my team. My mindset is on winning, not like, yo, I want to make more money. There's a bunch of organizations that could pay me more money and want to pay me more money. Nah, I'm focused on the task at hand. But this is the problem I think I've had in Valorant, especially with players, because what's happening in this situation in a microcosm has been a big issue since the beginning of Valorant, because prices have been so inflated and some organizations are willing to literally throw an insane amount of money that is obviously crazy unsustainable, and it distorts like reality for so many players. And now I'm like, Loud's 1 game away, but even if they end up not doing any moves and having to play this way, now people might actually know that this thing was going to happen. And by the way, let's not forget the BS that happened last year where, again, and I know it seems like I'm shitting on Sadhawks. Dude, I don't know you. I'm not. I'm just being as honest as I can about this. You remember he was telling everybody we're stupid about this Aspas shit. Aspas ended up fucking leaving. Right? You remember that, right? He was like, y'all people don't know what y'all talking about, saying it on every fucking stream imaginable. Blah, 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 blah. You guys are idiots. We have no problems. We have no blah, 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 blah. Loud ended up breaking up anyway. Aspas was gone. So all the rumors weren't rumors, right? So I know where there's smoke, there's fire. And I have it from good sources that this shit is like real. And really real. But me as a casual observer from the outside, I think it's ridiculous. And me as an insider in gaming and esports, having the experience that I have in a lot of these situations, it's even more ridiculous because time. Because NRG has already proven they can make a super team and it cannot work. You're going to risk the year on another super team? Sure, you have a better IGL. Okay, man, cool. But I don't know. I just think it's like, I think it's just a terrible sign when people think that a mid-season trade is going to be some sort of lightning in a bottle. And I understand from Ethan's perspective why he may think so, because last year Demon 1 getting bumped up turned EG from being basically one of the worst teams in the league last year to eventually getting enough heat to end up winning a world title.
Yeah.
So I can understand the perspective of like, upgrading. But for everyone else, I don't think they can have that perspective because the luck and overall like fortuitous nature for it to have worked for Ethan the way that it worked and EG the way that it worked, I don't think is ever going to happen again.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
the odds of what they did ever happening again is so minuscule. I don't think people should expect just Sadak and Les going would be like saving the day. Like in my mind, it's just like.
I think the closest thing that we have to that is like Icy on G2 now that he's like comfortable. But that I don't even think that's because Icy is like on the same.
Yeah, but they're not
caliber.
winning because of Icy.
Well, yeah, that's what I was about to get at. I don't even think it's because Icy's at the same caliber of mechanics as Demon 1 was for that EG squad. But I just think that team just needed a duelist that listened and calmed good, and they already played the game fundamentally amazing, by the way. And yeah, G2 is like the closest team that has pulled off making a roster change and actually it being really good. Now, just my point of view on NRG is I don't even think that it's a moment where they needed to hit the panic button, bro. I think if you look at the matches that they had, they went 3-3 in this bracket, right?
Yeah.
But by the way, I swear, 2 of the losses they had, I swear they threw. They could have won them.
I don't disagree.
Game, bro, the EG game, they could have won that for sure, right? I think it was 2-1, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Or did they get 2-0? I don't remember. But they had some really close games.
Yeah.
That were like 2-1s that I'm like, bro,
EG was.
You guys just trolled. That's it.
Yes.
But it wasn't even bad. They just trolled.
Right. The only one I thought they really got destroyed on was Leviathan. I thought they had their chances.
Yeah, the LOUD match they got
outclassed. But like on 100 Thieves, I thought they had a chance. Shit just got kind of sideways super fast. Like on Bind, I'm not sure they had a chance. But certainly I think they could have taken it to a map 3 and you never know what happens. But yeah, I'm with you there. I think, I've heard people say that like, oh, Thietzen's first time IGLing, he's really struggling. It's actually not his first time IGLing. He IGL'd on 100 Thieves, right? Like right after I was gone when they picked up the other players. Yeah. It's not easy. And if the expectation was that he needed to like win every game early, I think that expectation, is more detrimental to everyone else, but he's gonna figure it out. Like this guy is too good to not figure it out, but that doesn't mean he's gonna bat 1,000 coming out the gate.
I know,
but the format creates such stress if you're not winning, right? Like it creates this like we talked about this last week with me, where like, dude, we're 4-1, right? But what happens if we have a string of bad games and we go 1-5 next season?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell does a 4-1 matter? And I think it's the same here. It's like, Ethan could have started, let's say, I don't know. I think they started like 2-1.
Brother, I was about to say this, bro. They literally, their first match was in February, and they were maybe a team like 2 weeks before that match. They've only been a team for like 3 to 4 months, bro.
Yes.
I don't care how talented you are at the game. You could have 5 of the best players, bro. You need a little bit more time than a couple months, man. And yes, I think that they probably could have beaten EG in this case. They probably could have beaten EG. And it was a 2-1.
And they had a chance for better showing against 100 Thieves, but it's just unlucky.
Yeah.
Like, it's just unlucky.
I mean, they played 2 teams that had more practice than them. And on top of that, the 100 Thieves one, I think, how many? They only replaced 1 player, correct?
Yeah.
100 Thieves? Oh, no, they replaced 2, Stellar and Derek. And they got EU and they got Boostio. But the way that they did it.
Oh, that's right. They get EU.
Yep. But the way that they did it was they picked up an actual IGL, like a proven IGL. And I think that's the reason why this team is having so success, especially because Boostio is the type of guy that brings the energy and brings the vibes to that roster and actually makes the environment so he makes such a good environment for those kids that they're able to thrive and not feel pressure, and they can actually just use the mechanical talent that we all know that they've always had. I mean, they have some of the most cracked aimers. I mean, since the start. I mean, you've seen Asuna from the start, bro. You know,
Yeah.
the guy, no matter what, he's talented as hell. He had a rough year last year, bro. But now look at him. Now that he has the right leadership, the right vibes on the team, and this is something that NRG, in my opinion, I think is missing big time, bro. I think they have 5 very serious players on their team, and I think it's actually a downfall to them. They need somebody that's like that. They just need a vibe guy. I know it sounds stupid, and I'm not saying that it has to be like, you know, like over the top, like cringe stuff. You know, like I think sometimes, you know, Boostio does a lot, but I would vibe with that type of guy. I don't think that the NRG guys
I'm
would
with
vibe with
you.
that type of energy. But they
We
need
talked.
somebody to like, you know,
Yes.
just do a little bit more, maybe get the team like to like do like more chemistry things, like act like you actually like each other, you know? Because when I see them on the stage, bro, it feels like it's just work, you know, and I get it. Like that's the type of environment that they've thrived in before. But, you know, it's just a different team now. And I think that when I did my trials with NRG, the thing that stuck out to me the most was, and granted, like this was trials that they were doing just to give some context, in case they didn't get Demon One and Ethan. So I'm sure they were half-assing it and not fully invested into it in the first place, because obviously if they could get Demon One and Ethan, they would want to be 100% with them anyways. But when I was in those tryouts, it did feel like the energy was really low. And when I did the tryouts, I felt like I was one of those guys that tried to bring him out of that and try to get everybody to stay motivated. Like that was the main thing I felt like that I needed to do when I was in those tryouts, was like, how can I get everybody constantly talking? How can I motivate them all to want to play, to want to take this like serious, and, you know, like just have some fun with it too, you know, while we're owning teams. And I don't know. I don't think they have that right now. And I don't think replacing um well, who is it? Marved is supposed to be benched, and we don't know who the other person is. But, you know, I'm sure me
Yeah.
and you might have ideas of who it is.
Right.
Um, but I just don't think that getting like Sadhak and less is gonna fill in that vibe. I guess maybe Sadhak could, because he does seem like a very loose guy when I see him on the
Right.
stage and stuff. But
But
even
the
he's succumbing
language
to the
barrier
pressure of
is
wanting
difficult.
to. Yeah,
Dude, I'm dealing with this shit now with Surf and Gov and Ban and like Cruz and Jit. Like, it's not easy, bro. It's not their first language. They don't think in that language. It's trust me, when you start preparing for game plans and you start going through your new protocols and you start having to rename areas of the map, dude, it is just, I mean, if that's what they want to do, go for it. But like, you know, it is what it is. And to your point about like, you know, they need leadership. Listen, I could have told you that when I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised. But at the end of the day, these guys have to figure it out,
yeah.
right? Like, they're the most expensive roster in all of Valorant. Like, someone has to figure it out. And I'm not really going to start, you know, name calling or trying to figure out like who needs to do what. All I'm going to say is, if you have a super team and you want to start pulling the plug in May, like, I think that says a hell of a lot more about you than it ever will anything like that anyone else can say. Straight up. Like,
Yeah.
you're 3-3. Season 2 is more important. Qualify for playoffs. Make top 3. You go to Worlds. That's when you need to be your best. This stuff now, I mean, if they want to change Marv because there's internal things going on,
That's what I was about to say. I was
that's
like,
fine.
maybe it's not because of the actual performance. Maybe there's just a lot of other factors that are involved within the team environment that they're trying to clean
Yeah.
up, which is
Yeah. I
fair,
mean,
by the
if it's
way.
a G2
If
thing and
that's
it's
the
like,
case, that's fair,
yeah,
you know?
right. If it's a G2 thing and it's something that's going on personally, not, I think, game wise, I'm okay with it. Game wise, okay, yeah, it's true that I don't think Marv has been particularly playing well, but he's also playing Viper. And even though he's struggling, a lot of the way they're playing off of Viper is they're playing Viper as like a sentinel and they're cheating off of him. And like, Viper's really fucking difficult to play that way. Like, you have to be really special to play that way. And even Mako isn't a hard anchor. And I know, like, you know, we talk about, well, we've given him a lot of superlatives, right? In APAC, especially now that I'm there, I'm like seeing it more. I'm not necessarily going to say that Jimmy is like functionally the problem, right? Especially when you watch film. It's not really the issue, especially the Leviathan loss, dude. Like I could spend an hour on that bullshit just right now.
Yeah, that was crazy.
There's clear game planning issues. There's definitely clear mid-rounding issues, right? I'm not necessarily going to blame Jimmy for this. However, I will definitely say that he's not winning as many duels as I've expected him to win. And if there's something else going on also, I'm definitely not going to question any decision that they need to make.
Yeah.
Because obviously, G2 did the same thing, right? And it seems to be working out better for them now. My reservation on making the changes, two things. One, is there a better person you can pick up on the available open market to replace
There's
him?
only one guy. There's only one guy, and he's not even rumored to be joining them. But I think that if they are truly going to replace Marv, this would be fire, especially if they're trying to actually get Sadhak. And I think that's got to be Pankata, brother. I think Pankata Sadhak would be hard. I actually don't. I don't know. But again, about
language
less.
Problem.
I don't know about
difficult
less.
in game. True. Less. Yeah. I mean. Okay.
I think that if they pick up less,
so you might have a good replacement,
have a great
maybe for the one
player. Yeah. You go. You go ahead.
No. I'm just saying you might be right in terms of like, can it work? Like in theory, sure.
Yeah.
I still have all the reservations I have already said, which I'm not going to get into. But yeah, okay, fine. And then the second issue I have beyond just the who the hell you're going to replace him with, the second issue is if you are going to make these changes, picking up people that aren't first language English speakers, I don't think they understand that challenge. You feel me? Like this is where I'm going. It's like
especially IGL too, if it is
right.
If it is the case.
Like
yeah, it could be. It could be.
Yeah. So if the organization is now, and like this is another problem I have because it might not even be the players. I'm not even gonna. And this is pure speculation out of my part, so I don't want to even like, grain of salt, please. If the organization is feeling the stress, like, yo, we're paying you a lot of money, y'all need to figure it out. What the heck do y'all need? But something has to happen. If this internal pressure is coming, then I just think it says so much about the nature of esports. And, I just think this is like such a problem because I've been here. Where organizations are on your back, breathing down your neck, telling you to do shit, and you're having to argue with them. And ultimately, you might get fired because you're like, guys, what the heck? No, you're paying me to do this. Get the hell out. And then they're like, well, this is my org. F you. Okay, fine. People have the right to do that. But the organization should not, under any circumstance, just because you decided to pay a roster this much money, does not then mean that now you can start hitting panic buttons and start like making changes. Because the truth is, if the players do feel as if, they've been a little unlucky and like they can turn it around, you have to give them the latitude to do that too. Right? Like I'm not saying anyone from NRG is doing it. I'm just saying that if this is purely a players thing, both my opinions on 1 and 2 are still the same, obviously. Yeah. But if this is an organizational thing, could you imagine? Like to me, I just think like, dude, I can name one org that I have been with in the last 3 years that 100% would do this because it's like, yo, we're paying you all this money. What the is this? But I already know. I can already think of the person. So I'm just projecting that like if this were the case, then it just goes to show you that like just sometimes it's so chalked because this format creates this like
crazy
unnecessary pressure, of course, bro. And it's so unforgiving. Like if you don't play well, you have 11 games in the year.
Yeah.
Or 10 games a year.
Dude, that's nothing, bro. That's in comparison crazy, to a game like Counter-Strike, which you play tournament like every other month.
It's absurd. So it's like you know. But yeah, I mean, I feel for everybody. I hope they figure it out. I hope that they, in my opinion, don't blow either roster up. I think both are just right there. I think NA is just kind of competitive. I think, in my opinion, NA is the weakest region. I think I've said this on the show last week, and I'm going to continue to say this. And I'm going to say it because of what we're seeing. All these ups and downs, there's no consistency for many of these teams. And I'm actually not even criticizing Sentinels, believe it or not. because I totally understand the aspect of burnout, and I totally understand that, like, for some of them, they had never really done that before, right? Obviously, I'm not talking about tens, but, like, you know, even you look at the coaching staff, they have never really been in a situation where, like, they were the, like,
top of the top and didn't have
hunted,
a break, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
They were always the hunters. And now everyone is anti-stratting you, and now there's, like, so many things going on. You know, it's okay. Like, I don't think they've been playing particularly poorly either.
They're not even mad,
a lot of their
bro.
matches are close. Like, you know, Sentinels up and down isn't what I mean by, like, NA is weak.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but just to touch on that, those guys are happy they're not going to Shanghai, bro. They're like, thank God. I'm not even joking, because there was so close that they made it into that playoff. And if they made it in, obviously they're like Cruz, they're like Ban, they're gonna play to win. Like, I had this conversation with
of course,
the couple of the guys, or like 2-3 of them, but they were so happy when they didn't. And this sounds weird because it's weird. Like,
it's not weird.
They're happy that they lost. But now they have time to chill out because they played. Dude, this team was nonstop from the offseason, bro. I think they maybe had like a couple weeks off after champs was done, and then they went straight into it. Like, they were grinding the entire way through.
So trust me, I feel them. Look what happened with Miniboo.
That's
Miniboo. This is burnout.
This is perfect. This is perfect because we wanted to hit on it, so we should talk about it, bro. Yeah, that's
this
crazy,
is the same,
though.
100%, bro. So this is why when I think of LOUD and I think of NRG, and I'm like, guys, shut the F up. Just stop hitting the panic button. Just focus on season 2. Just work harder. Do better. Like, you guys have everything you need to do it. Shut the fuck up and do it. Because a lot of the teams that are going to go to Shanghai are going to go through the same ish that the people went through in Madrid because of this burnout. They're not going to be ready for the burnout.
Yep.
Right? And like, and again, you do not win championships early in the season. So when I see this, I just laugh internally. And then when I think of, like, even Miniboo, it's like, man, Heretics make it. He needs a break. I understand why he needs a break, right? These guys are young, new. You know, they haven't gone through the gauntlet.
Bro, W.org, by the way, for allowing this to happen and not freaking out, because I don't think a lot of organizations would be like, oh, you have a chance at winning another international or winning an international. Why would you not play? But the fact is, they're looking long term. They're looking long term. And this is all really important, bro. The long term approach. This is why G2 has been so stable every single year, even though they haven't been in franchising the last, they weren't in the first year, right? The fact that they've been a team for so long, bro, is a testament, and it shows why they're here now, making it in Shanghai. And honestly, they look like they're going to not slow down either, bro. I don't think that G2 is going to be a team that's going to experience a weird burnout or anything like that after Shanghai. I don't think that's going to happen, because I think that they grinded so hard when they got icy that they're already burned out, by the way, because you could tell when they had to do the back-to-back BO5s. Yeah. But I think that since they've been a team together for so long, they know how to handle all these things a lot better, you know? And
it's why I'm so surprised about LOUD, because Sadhak specifically is in the same situation as Valorant is, which is when you've been the IGL in the same system, it's your system, and you know the core pieces that you've had for so long, your job is so much easier, especially week to week when you're preparing for, like, new teams, because your install is so much less when everyone is already on the same page, right? Because, like, you know, I'll give you like a small example, right? Our match versus T1, for instance, right? When we did all those shenanigans, right? Now that Cruz has gone through that, it's way easier now for him and, like, Governor specifically, right? And they've only been together for like 6 months. Now, if we do that again, say we do, like, just an example, like Neon, Yoru on Ascent, let's say. Going through the process of copying another comp, learning, you know, a whole new comp within 4 days, going through all the stuff, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's so much easier now for Cruz because he's done it. Now, compare that to, like, Sadak and Valen. Think of all the ups and downs. You talked about Valen's been in the same team. Of course. So when he goes, hey, Trent, look, here's what I need. I need you to do this now. for like this team, I need this, and it's like when you go through your sets and your protocols and you make these changes, you don't even have to think so much about these things anymore because you can not only trust your teammate, but like you already know what his habits are from A to Z. And now you're like, I need you to change to this only for this match. But if you need to on a dime go, hey, bro, I need you to go back to blah, 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 blah. Like the amount of recall that you can have now because you've gone through so many matches and so many games and so many transitions and you've had to like all these stuff. That's way harder for like a new IGL, a la Ethan. Right? That's what makes me so surprised about LOUD, which makes me think it's about because it's an advantage when you're an IGL and you've had like the history with the people you know, because the tendencies of these players that you already are able to understand allows the communication to be so much more seamless because there's so many less things you need to communicate. And that already puts you at such a like good level, which is why I, like you, have this G2 fever, because I think that, I mean, I've always had respect for Valorant. He knows that. Like, you know, I mean, even when he was nobody, bro, when he was on Cloud 9, trialing on Cloud 9, me and him would, I mean, he already knows what the deal is with me and him. But I have even more confidence in him because of everything I just mentioned. And it's the same thing, I think, with Shoutout and LOUD. And I just really hope they go back to these, like, you know, rosters and teams, and they just focus on this next season, because I don't think people properly value the advantage of having IGLs that are so comfortable within a system. And long term, because you brought up last season and LOUD and how they made that run, you make that run because Shoutout can now pull from all the learnings from, you know,
everything he learned from the season.
Yeah, man. And all the years before and all that stuff. And it's like, you know, I think that that's a massive advantage that those guys can lean on. And I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, what G2 does. I'm hoping LOUD can, you know, can do their thing. And I know you brought up like Heretics and like W for the org. I don't think they had a choice. If we're going to be honest, they don't have a choice, because you're not going to ruin Miniboo, right? For the sake of like a Shanghai.
Yeah, for Shanghai, when you already have a ton of points and
right. But I just wish
changing, and now they don't have to even show what they're doing. It's kind of crazy.
Right, but the problem is this actually isn't good for their team or their players. Sure, it gives you LAN experience, but also people can lose confidence because, I mean, it takes a really mentally strong team to realize that like this tournament doesn't matter, and it is what it is. But also, if in my opinion, I wish the coaching staff would have had a real big discussion with the players about like, if we're going to do this, maybe it's better for everyone to take a little bit of a break.
Yeah, but then what? You can't just not attend the event, bro.
No, I'm talking about qualification.
What do you mean?
All I'm gonna say is I'm not doing everything I can to make this tournament, which means if I have comps,
like
I'm not running it. I'm not. No. You don't have to throw. You can actively try to win it, but you can do it with all the same stuff you've been using. And if no, the exact opposite. If a team wants to anti-shot you and make it difficult, go for it. Let's persevere through this. Let's figure out ways that like we can make a game ugly and like try to win that way. And if we don't, unlucky. Because the truth is, they're going to learn that like my long-term prospects of Heretics are no longer as strong because of this. And because I'm telling you, because now it's not about being on the same page as much as it is energy. Some players are going to be more burnt out than others. And this is going to create an imbalance on the team. And also, right, if you want to make an argument that like, yo, it's good for the current Heretics players to get LAN experience and more LAN experience, okay, that's cool. But what you really need is cohesion amongst your players. Now that a guy is out, you're going to bring in someone else.
Yeah,
it's going to take time for you to get. Yeah,
to get back.
I know
though,
he's been there and he's done it, and I know he was right, but that's not going to help you in playoffs.
Is Patasek going to play Duelist? Is that what's going to happen? Is he going to fill in for Miniboo? Because you're right. Because if they change roles, but maybe that's a good thing if he doesn't. Because maybe they can put like Woot on Duelist and they could just like play a little bit more lax, like you're talking about, where they kind of just don't really like give it 100,000,000%, like they're trying to win the trophy, but they just treat it as like, we're here, we're playing with a sub. Let's see how far we can make a run, like let's just vibe.
Yeah. Patty is not going to.
He's not a duelist, but I'm saying like there might be role switches within the team, and that might in itself make it not as sweaty and like make a burnout happen. I think that there could be a world in which that helps out. The fact that they're not going to be playing the exact.
I agree with you, but if I'm them, I just throw Woot in the duelist role, and basically Patty basically now turns into Woot because the KO gets played the same, So I think that's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's likely to put Woot on duelist for sure. That guy's too good.
Sure. Are you going to make it work? Are you going to figure out how you can make the most out of this? I'm sure. I'm just saying again, when you try to win championships, real championships, Shanghai, I know it sounds terrible, but like it really is meaningless. Everyone is playing for 3 points that don't matter. Right? Like,
that's sure, if you win it, right?
You win in playoffs, great. Yeah, that's if you win it. Like, fundamentally, season 2 and season 2 playoffs are the most important, and you need to put your best foot forward here. And I think this actually doesn't help Heretics as much as people think it will. It actually, in my opinion, does the opposite.
It's pretty awkward, bro. Like I've never been in a spot where like I was supposed to go to a LAN and one of my teammates was like, "Oh, I can't go," and I had to pick up a sub. Right. I've never been in that spot ever, and I'm grateful for it because that shit would mess up my entire mojo going into a tournament.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I would rather everybody take a good break, 2 weeks, come back, let's group up, let's like do what we need to do, and like you build slowly towards the season, and then you're ready for the season, blah blah blah, or you go all in and you try to win it, and you try to like. Learn everything you can, right? Like the LAN experience together, was going to be good. Installing new game plans and trying to figure out like, how to like, do all the things you do in a tournament. And just trying to avoid as much burnout as possible is going to help you for season 2. But I'm
excited because the meta is like we're playing on the new meta in Shanghai, and I can't wait to see what these teams are going to cook up and play. So that might also be a good factor in just figuring out what's going on. So maybe it is a good thing that they're going because they get to kind of just in a real setting, like where there's actually something on the line. I know it's like it doesn't seem like there is, but there is. There's money on the line and some points if you win. I'm interested to see where like how it's going to take form as the tournament progresses, and then I'm interested to see all the teams that are watching the matches progress in real time. And see what they cook up against these teams that are playing in Shanghai following stage 2. It's going to be really cool when it all unfolds under it and we cover it like week by week. It's going to be dope.
Forever the optimist. I'll just say.
You don't like it? Have you guys started? No, you're just taking a break, right? You haven't played on the patch?
I will just say, I hear what you're saying, and I certainly respect your opinion. So that's what I'll say.
That's it.
Cap.
That's off to me.
Cap. No, cap. That's cap. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Anyways, speaking of more burnout, Ye is officially taking a break from competitive play, which is sad to see, man.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, all I'm going to say is I don't know if this is particularly burnout, but I will say this. A few weeks ago, we talked about this, and I think the amount of criticism, and I think just genuinely people wanting to see him fail.
Yeah, it's just the Valorant community.
And I think it's just very unfortunate. And, it is what it is. It's a cycle that I don't think is going to change. So, I just,
I hope he's not gone for too long, man. Like, because it's just weird. It's just it doesn't feel right, man. To let all the outside noise hit you like that. But I mean, These trolls, bro, they're too strong, man. These trolls.
Yeah, I will say this, and yeah, I mean, part of me wants to be careful here because I know that this is going to be like polarizing. But at the end of the day, I got to be honest too. I think as an American and as a foreigner going to Korea, it's also really interesting because, for instance, Koreans are sort of like isolationists, I think, where like, you know, it's not like Korea's not foreigner friendly, first off. It's really not. The culture isn't. And it's like, you know, so imagine, you know, all this controversy, all this drama, fighting with two of your teammates, being in a country you don't really know anybody really, maybe not vibing with your teammates or it not being the best like socially, and then not having a support system also outside of that. So for instance, you know, me and Gov are cool with them, but like, you know, we're in the middle of Seoul. Like we are in Gangnam. Luckily, Talon, great facility. We are blessed to be where we are. Some of these teams are like an hour and a half out, bro, in the boondocks. Right. So
that's crazy.
I don't want to say where they are from because I don't want the stalkers to like, you know, but like, trust me when I tell you that they're like not close. Right. So you can't even hang out with them. Like you can't even like be a support system for people that like, you know. And
It's
I think a lot of people don't realize it's difficult being an American in that place. And it's not that the city I love. So first off, better New York City. So before people start thinking I'm hating on anything, way better New York City. I'm from New York City, born and raised. Trust me. Soul clears it, right? The food is great and all that stuff, but like really, it's difficult to be a foreigner in that country for a myriad of reasons. I could give you tons of examples. I think Governor has actually talked about it on stream. So if anybody has watched Governor's stream, like, you know, he's actually talked about this. Because he's both sides, because he has like the Korean heritage, but he's also like around us all the time, like all the non-Koreans. And you know, the shit that he experiences on behalf of us has been interesting for him, right? So I think it's tough when you come from here to go over there, and then it seems like literally everything is against you because people at home are pooping on you. People over there pooping on you. You don't really have a way out. And then it just becomes this like, you know, cesspool of negativity everywhere you are. Right. Like I'm not certainly making excuses for him. I'm just saying like it could be really lonely when you're not home. And I think for him, you and me talked about just how nasty and there was so much vitriol thrown his way, even from ex-teammates and friends.
Yep.
You know,
I mean, everybody, even so like even current pros, they meme about it, right? Even though that was the same guy that was sitting them down the entire 2 years that he was doing his shit. Right. It's, I don't know, man. It's not an easy position that he's in. But it is a choice that he made, though. It is a choice that he made to go there, though, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna sound like a jerk for this, and I get it, and it's cool. Like, I mean, it is what it is. I deal with the heat. Texture is basically a Jet 1 trick.
Right? Yeah, he really is.
What is the criticism? Actually? Please trust me, bro. He's a fucking Jet 1 trick.
He's getting good at raise, though, bro.
Yeah. Bro, if you don't have a rate, 4 damaging abilities, bro. If you don't have a raise at this point, you have a problem. Let's just.
What do you mean, brother? What comes to your mind? What do you mean by that?
What I'm just saying is, if Texture can do it and have a team around him, and he's the best, right? Everyone says he's the best, right? It's a shame that Ye isn't also. You get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Forget the reason. I'm not blaming anyone. I got a lot of respect for what Blee was doing and, you know, the people there. And this is not me hating on anybody and not trying to like create a controversy. I'm just saying, when you pick up a guy that's that guy, trying to turn him into not that guy.
Yeah, you shouldn't be doing that.
Kind of hard. Right? So I don't even want to hear the excuse of like, yo, the game has evolved and you can't do that. Stop. I'm seeing 1 tricks stay on 1 tricks, except for the 1 trick. If you catch my drift.
Yeah, I understand.
So that's that's where I'm at with this. It's just like, you know, I just wish people would actually think a little bit deeply about before they criticize someone, try to look at it from all the angles rather than the one obvious one, which is he hasn't won a game in 2 years, basically. I just think that's like, this is a team game, bro.
It is. You can't 1v5. Not at a high level, not at a franchise so it's not franchise, not at a partnership level. You can't, bro. I mean,
bro, Aspas is the best duelist in can't 1v5. They lost to 100 Thieves.
That was tough. I mean, he has some 1v5 wins though. I'm not gonna lie, but
he does. But
it's hard.
You're not gonna make a career out of this in this game.
Nah,
you're not.
No. It's never gonna be that way. You can have a map where you take over, but to truly take over an entire series is actually a very hard thing to do. It's a very hard thing to do, and you can't do it. You can honestly, it's so hard to take over without being enabled from your team too. So yeah, I mean, there's so much that goes into even Aspas 1v5ing. It's truly not a 1v5 because he's getting set up at some point around.
Of course.
There's moments for sure where he's taken over by himself. Maybe he just peaks kills 2-3 at a time, but it's not a reliable, consistent thing that he does. You know, I will say that he's probably one of the most consistent at doing shit like that. Him and Texture, which is by the way going to be such a dope matchup. Cannot wait for that. But they still have their prospective teams giving them full help at all times, and that is not even just with direct utility. It could just be a comm. It could be a call. It could be your IGL telling you, "Yo, go kill this guy." You know, this guy's here. It could be as simple as that. You know.
Yeah, it's just sad, and it just is what it is. And obviously, I wish him the best. I wish Bleed the best next season, and you know, obviously, like, you know, everybody there. No one wants to lose.
Yep.
This industry is difficult. Winning is hard. This format is brutal. So, you know, best of luck to all parties there. It's just unfortunate that, like, you know, these things happen.
I feel like he would be crushing it right now if he had like a homie that he was with on the team with him. But unfortunately, the rule limit is you can only have one import. I could totally see a world in which maybe he, like, let's say him and Nitro went together. You know, maybe Nitro never signs with M80, and they are the combo
almost
package
happened.
that they almost were for MIBR
Twice.
or bro,
the other, bro. Word, it's just.
I feel like if he had somebody there with him to actually like just keep his mental in check and just make sure that he's not like being too focused on the negativity that can transpire from everything, right? From being at a spot of the limelight for so long and being as good and as impactful as he was. If he had somebody to balance that out for him, I think that he would still be putting up numbers, because people think that Ye is a one trick, but he's actually not. Because when I played against him on Andbox, they had this guy on Yoru, they had this guy on Viper, they had him on Sage, and I'll tell you what, this motherfucker, and this is before he even joined Optic or whatever, Optic NRG, whatever the fuck it was back then. He was doming, man. He was hitting some crazy shots even on those characters, and he had good utility, man. This is one of the first guys that I saw running Viper on Bind. Like genuinely running Viper on Bind. It wasn't even in the meta at the time. He was running it on Andbox. And he had Molly lineups to clear out U-Haul, which teams still don't have this day. You know, like he was actually smart about this shit.
Shout out the boy.
Well, whoever it was.
That was his But like,
I mean, regardless, bro, like he was applying it and he was doing it and he played great and he did it in matches too. So
I know
what has happened with him and many other players in the league is when they read these comments, it makes you, even if you, and this happened to me, I spoke about it, even if you don't let the shit actually get to you, in your subconscious at some point, it's gonna affect you, bro. And there's nothing you can do about it. But you gotta have, hopefully have people around you that can help you get out of that slump and everything. Because when I watch him play the game now, it's just his confidence is just down to zero. So he's actually having performances that are a lot worse than what they actually should be. And it's not even because he's a one trick or whatever it is. It's just his confidence right now isn't as high as it used to be. And this game is so much based off of confidence, bro. I mean, look at this 100 Thieves team, man. The reason why they shit on everybody is because, dude, this guy Boostio is so confident. He's literally saying he's the best IG in the league. He's standing up every other round, pointing at the other team in real time, saying that they're shit. You know what I mean? amping his team up because his team sees him doing that, sees him talking all this shit. Now all of a sudden he's giving confidence to a guy like Cryo, who last year was the most. I'm not gonna say he was the most passive Jet, but he was a very passive Jet in the league. Look at him now, bro. Look at what confidence does to a player, bro. Yeah. Look at Asuna. Look at how he played last year. Look at the confidence he has now going into the server. This guy's aim is all of a sudden back to being on point. It's so crazy how your mentality can make you a great player and make your mechanics better than what they maybe actually truly are, bro. And it just makes you look insane. Bro. Same thing with Zelsis. Has Zelsis ever been known to be a mechanically insane player? No. Look at how his mechanics have improved just by him being a confident guy in this team of Sentinels. And I know they didn't qualify in this Shanghai tournament, but it doesn't matter, bro. The guy won Madrid, and he looked crispy doing it, bro. So it plays such a crucial factor in this shit.
Yeah, you bring up, yes, I agree. You bring up great points. The last couple things I'll say about this is like one. So to Boostio, you could tell his shit talk took calm out of that Lev series. And me and you talked about this. I even talked to Marty, who's my former manager at 100 Thieves, because bro, he's the homie. And I told him straight up, I was like, bro, I did not think this shit was going to work. I did not think they would beat them. And I was like, brother, I'm telling you right now, the pressure he took off of that matchup and the mind games he played on Calm, because I was telling you how good he looked on Cypher and how, I was talking about Calm the week or two before. Not even the same human, not the same player. 100% that was Boostio. And the truth is, Boostio was still like -7. Bro, he was still dying first, but it didn't matter because the fact of the matter is Calm did not play well. And as you know, me and you spoke about this. When Aspas and Calm are playing well, that's when Lev is like, that's the real key. When he was a non-factor, it was a wrap. So I actually really enjoy what I'm seeing. And I can't believe it's working, bro. But holy shit, I love it, though. You can feel it. You can see it.
Dude, like, I've been waiting for somebody to come into the league and do shit that I would do. Because this guy is literally, bro, it's just like, bro, when I was in Overwatch League, I'm sure he was watching me do the exact same shit he's doing to a bunch of other teams. Like, and I get to see him do it now. And it's like, dude, people don't understand like what it's like to play on LAN and actually like use that to your advantage. And he uses it to advantage all the way, bro. The standing up, the shit talking, the post-game interview before he's about to play his next teammate the next day, and he's saying, I'm gonna fucking sit your ass down, I'm way better than you. You know what I mean? And then when he wins 2 back-to-back 1v1 rounds against Calm, and every single time he's sitting there staring, like pointing at him. I mean, bruh.
It fucks with you.
It
fucks with you, bro. Yes, bro.
And even if you already agreed with your team or your coach that you're not going to let it get to you, brother, when you're in that moment and this motherfucker is staring at you after you just lost 2 1v1s to the guy that IGL'd you to a victory, bro, and he called you out, bro.
I want to bring this up. So Talon did this like content thing for, I think it was us versus Team Secret a while back. I told you about it. I don't know if you ever peeped it. I think that was the one that dropped when you were going to the barber. There's a part in there where you hear me tell the guys, hey guys, this team really wants to beat you, right? Like, relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, let the the pressure's on them now. Just chill, right? Like, don't be the ones that like ramp it up now. Now you let them deal with it. You just focus on task. Band's like, oh, I know, bro. Bro, they put me down the first game. I was just pissed. I came back. Now I'm talking shit to them. You can see it in their faces, right? So he says that, right? There's so much context that they missed, and I'm going to add like a small piece of it, right? Because what we started to notice in that secret match was the shit talking, like me going publicly and basically airing out the shit that happened and sort of like, how I'm feeling about it, Cruz is feeling about it going into the match. We really felt in the series because when they were winning, like when they had the comeback, you can tell, blah, 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 blah. Bro, they even were saying shit in the hallway. Like, after the match, you guys go to the right. Ban was like, oh, okay. This is the problem with, like, giving other people more added motivation. you don't want to like spark someone. Like some people, like an example, I feel like, and I don't know this for certain, but I imagine if Busio's having a shitty game, you don't even want to talk shit to him. Because you don't want to give it like one thing that gets him like, oh, hold on. Like, you just don't want to do that, right? So like you just would ignore it, right? You should just ignore it. Like I would be telling people if I'm about to play him, but just ignore him. If he's doing bad, don't even talk shit to him, blah, 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 blah. Just, just ignore him completely, right? And what's interesting about that is like they woke up Ban. And then, if you can remember, Ban absolutely destroyed them for the rest of the series, especially like on Breeze, literally sat them down. They weren't even like his equal on the server. And Ban's not even our best player on the team, right? So, like, people don't understand and they underrate what Busio's value can be because they don't understand that mental aspect of competition is sometimes even more important than skill.
Yeah.
So
genuinely,
even when you're bringing up like, yo, look what he's doing to Asuna and Cryo. This is another underrated aspect of like when you alleviate pressure from, I mean, I don't even want to call them younger players because some of them are like older now. They were younger.
Yeah, true. They're not young.
But like, you know what I mean? Like
guns anymore,
when you're taking pressure away from your players and you're putting it on yourself and they get to just play a stress-free game because like what our players told me, bro, if we lose the secret, you're getting cooked, so we're chilling, right? Like, it really does allow for them to be able to, like, get an extra get-out-of-jail-free card, which you know better than anybody as a competitor, especially on the team that you were on that played, like, so fast.
Yep.
All you sometimes need is one round. All you sometimes need is just to be able to get one extra chance that you might get because that team isn't worried about you. They're not thinking about you. Peter might have an ult, and they don't give a fuck about him because they're like, bro, he's fucking trash, blah, 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 blah. Or like, they're so worried about shutting down this guy that was talking or like, yo, let's go after this guy. He's playing here. He's 7-19. Then I could think of Foxy9 on a bind like a few weeks ago. He gets a 4K. He's not playing well on bind. He gets a 4K backside B. Foxy9, I don't even think Foxy9 died again the rest of the game on that bind. And like people just underestimate how those little things can happen. And it's just interesting because most pros don't ever talk about this sort of aspect of Valorant or competition. So like I feel what you're saying about Busio because I have so many examples of like just like my teams and like us being a part of that. And I think that content highlights what potentially Busio could be boosting his team with that would never show up on a stat sheet ever. What you'll see is he's -7, like he has like 7 first deaths or something, no first kills. This is what you might see, right? And you might just think like, it's a downright negative, but that's also could be the case that like those guys are actively going for him as part of a game plan or specifically challenging him. It might open up another area of the map or some freedom for someone else.
Yep.
And it could be game plan specific. It could also just be ego. But, if the momentum is going to carry his team because like, the right people are the ones winning the rounds and getting the confidence, you might be dealing with a freaking monster like us. Remember, we got 13-0 on PRX, right? And it's just like, sometimes that momentum is just a killer and you just can't stop the train once it gets going. So
for real, especially like in this meta, the state of the game, I think teams have just gotten so good at like after they win pistol and they get a clean anti-eco winning that bonus round, dude, it can really snowball quick as fuck, man. If you lose against a team's bonus round, bro, it's like, man, I don't know if we can get a stat for it, but it's got to be like a 70% chance you lose that game,
dude,
bro. Unless you're miles better, like unless you're just so much better macro wise. But even then, even if you're better macro wise, if they just do, like you said, if they just have the confidence to make a crazy fucking play because the pressure's relieved off of them and they just 1v5 you with a bulldog, like, shit, man, bro. Like it gets dicey in there. A big thing that you were talking about how like it can also work against you if you shit talk the wrong player. The best example I have of this was there is this. Well, first of all, whenever I would play Rise, the OG Rise with Shanks and all them, they would mute me because I would shit talk all of them and I'll get in their head. And this is actually, it got so bad. I think I spoke about it last podcast, but I'm just going to bring it up again. Riot had to literally ban accounts from typing in chat in the pre-game lobbies and everything like that on like First Strike client, on like all these tournament clients, because I would literally spam the fucking chat. Not spam, but I would talk shit even in the middle of the game, bro. I had a match against Sam when he like I was his first team NRG, I think. I had a match against Sam when he made the transition over, where he was playing. We were playing bind, and on attack, I just went for the showers peak right away. I one tapped him and I typed sit. And we're in a fucking official, bro. We're in an official, bro. I typed sit to him, bro. And you want to know what his response was? He called me a pimply ass kid right back, bro. And that's when I knew it was over, bro. I knew I won the fucking I won the game. I knew I won the series against him. I knew I was in his head rent free, bro. Every single time after that moment, I typed sit. I tried to play my next match, bro. I couldn't type, bro. They muted my account. I couldn't type shit, man. Fucked up. But back to my point was Shanks one day. They beat us like the first map. I forgot what it was. They beat us first map. This was, I think it was Rise or it was NRG when Shanks was on it. They beat us on the first map. He started shit talking Corey, bro. And I'd never seen Corey just like lock in so hard in my life, bro. All I hear is like the sound of Red Bull opening, bro. Like the little, and then all of a sudden I know where Corey's dropping 30, bro. And I'm like, damn, we're winning this match now. They enabled the fuck out of him.
Fucking good, bro.
And Corey told me, he's like, bro, there's no way I'm losing to this little fuck. And they're friends, by the way. They're friends, just so everybody knows.
No, I know, but yeah,
like, but like he just like got enabled to another level that I haven't seen, bro. Like I don't think I've seen him play like that again since he's been that like in that mood. It was crazy, bro.
Yeah, sometimes talking shit can go sideways, bro, and like and it can happen fast, bro. Yeah, it can happen so fast, and before you know it, it's over, and you're just sitting there like, what the just happened, bro?
Gotta own up for it, man.
Yeah.
I guess moving forward, I already spoke about it, but and it's announced now and be casting Shanghai. It's gonna be dope.
Congratulations!
I can't wait to see these games there. I wish you could have been there.
Golf clap. I know I'm trash. My bad.
I know. It's all good. It's all good though. But that's gonna be sick. Look out, everybody. I'll be casting the games. It's gonna be a tight schedule for me because there's only 2 casting pairs. It's going to be nonstop, bro. So get used to hearing my voice because you're going to hear a lot of it.
I would love to see you cast the finals. Also,
I know, say what's up. Wait. I hope.
Yo, 2 people you got to talk to. Trust. Chubby Ninja. You'll like her.
Yeah.
She's awesome, for sure.
Yeah, she hit me up. I was like, okay. I was like, well, she didn't hit me up, but she followed me and I followed her back. I was like, who is this? And then I'm like, dude, this is
but reach out, though. Super good people. Actually, 3 people. Alex, you want to hit up too. Dakota PRX. You're gonna really like him. So
dude, I gotta have a conversation with that guy.
Don't be a dweeb. Don't be a dweeb. Just send the DMs, bro. Just send the DMs and be like, yo, what's up, guys? Blah, 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 blah. Let's link, in Shanghai. Let's have a beer or something. Trust me, you're gonna want to chill with those 2 for sure. But Achilleos, I think you'll really also like Achilleos.
I know, dude. I've known him since Overwatch, brother.
All respect. Okay, so never mind.
Way back, bro. We go way back.
But I wasn't sure if like the regions, like if he was like casting your region. So then you should know Sideshow from there too, right?
Yeah, I know him. Yeah, I know them all. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah. But like those are surprises for me in APAC.
Cool ass people.
I definitely have gone along. Yeah, for sure. So again, reach out to them. Don't worry about it. Like, trust me, those are going to be your people at Shanghai. You're going to enjoy it.
I mean, we're gonna need each other because it's going to be a grind, man. Like it's not a lot of people there, bro. It's going to be a complete grind.
I know.
But I'm looking forward to working with everybody there. It's going to be sick. I don't think we're going to do predictions today because we have a special guest coming on for next week's episode, and that's when we're going to actually do predictions. So I think for right now, let's just talk about each final game that happened, or even lower final. Maybe we do lower finals into grand finals, and we just talk about it.
Sure.
For Americas, G2 against Lev in the lower final, and this is one that probably could have been over sooner than later for the likes of G2, in my opinion. I think they had a lot of good advantages. Yeah, I mean, but it was a crazy game, man. It was like a grind for both
three
teams.
maps were like I think the difference was like a round, right? It was like 13-11 or something. Like
Bind was 14,
like a few
12.
overtimes and then a 13-11. Yeah, dude,
bro,
that series was kind of
so
legit.
sick.
I was actually surprised because I don't know, man. On paper, I just didn't think G2 could. But again, mad props to Valen. I'm not doubting him, but I definitely believe that, or at least believed, Leviathan was the stronger team going into it. But very impressive showing from G2 and Valen in particular. Man. Like, yeah, man, it's just
a testament.
Well done to them. They're a good team, genuinely a strong team that can potentially beat anyone on any given day. Their highs are probably not as high as a lot of other teams. Like I thought Leviathan, for instance, thought their highs are going to be much higher, but their floor is also really high, and I think that's really interesting because G2 never gets shit on.
Yeah,
and that's a sign of a good team, though. Actually,
the only time it happened was against Loud, right? But that was only the second map. Right,
but it's also rare. Yeah, it's just rare. Like they are always in every match, and I think that's a testament to how good they are.
Dude.
And mad props to them. But I was very surprised. I would not have had this right at all.
Dude, you know what's funny? I actually voted for them to win. I just wasn't working that day, so they didn't upload my thing. But I actually thought that they were going to win this because, and this is the main reason why, when they played Lev the first time around, and this is when Icy wasn't comfortable at all, like he was still like really like just not doing the basics that they needed him to do.
Yeah.
They still almost won against Lev. It was like 13-9, bro, just off a macro, bro. I'm not even talking about heroics from any individual. It was a Lotus map where like Osboss is doing Osboss shit. Everyone on Lev is frying. And it was a 13-9 loss to them. And I think it was in the normal season. I don't think it was in playoffs. I think it was in the normal season, just so everybody knows. But it was close. And when I realized this G2 team and how they were playing, in general, even in that 100 Thieves loss, they played fine. They played great. I just like had an intuition feeling. I'm like, dude, I think they're going to do it, man. Like, I just had a feeling on the inside. Now, it was still close as hell, and Lev probably could have won it too. But I just think that
Lev, I still think Lev trolled on 100 Thieves, and this is ultimately the problem. But yeah, and you can see it too, because, okay, so G2 played 100 Thieves in the upper, right? They played on split. They were up 8-4 on split.
Yeah.
And this is where the picks and bans come in, because I thought, like, I'm not taking anything away from 100 Thieves, but I definitely think that these people, I don't know, man. So, all right, last week, remember what I said? I was like, man, they shouldn't play 100 Thieves on bind. They should play them on split, right? And the reason for this is quite simply, I just don't think 100 Thieves is that great on split. And also, it's I believe their second most banned map. No, it's it's like Breeze and Split, I'm pretty sure. I think Breeze is number 1, Split's number 2. So it's not like 100 Thieves like it either. But it goes to show you why I think Leviathan ultimately is not the team that I thought they were. It's because I'll give you a small personal example. Remember, we played T1. Lotus is their best map. We played a team on their best map, switched the comp, beat them. And they knew we were running the comp because they had our scrims. Right? Sometimes you have to play a team. I said this in a scrum interview. Sometimes you have to play a team on their best map. It's just the way that it goes, right? And it's because vetoes are important. The map selection is very, very important. Leviathan did not play well when they played 100 Thieves earlier, and they got beat on split in particular. But if anyone on that coaching staff studied 100 Thieves' split, they would realize, wait a minute, there's like massive problems here. I have Ospas. I'm chilling. Yeah. Let's fix, look what they do, blah, 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 right? Instead, these guys think they're going to beat 100 Thieves on bind. And me and you already said, I think last week, the week before, they're probably the best team on bind in North America.
100 Thieves, yeah. Their bind is fucking crazy.
And they lose 2-1, right? G2 play them. In my opinion, I think Leviathan better than G2. G2 are up 8-4 on bind. And forget the fact that they threw on attack, bro. G2's attack was so disgusting. I don't even want to fucking talk about it.
Dude.
A-A-A-B. The most bro. Busio, again, was just like, y'all trash, y'all trash, y'all trash. Oh, y'all trash. Because they thought Cryo would be solo B, not realizing that Cryo was literally on A. And I guess their game plan must have been so strict that they had like this A hit, no matter what happens. And then they're going to pivot B. But Cryo was now like not in the same anti-strat position. And Cryo was just literally destroying them. But anyways, so in my head, I'm just thinking, if Leviathan's map selection is better, they're probably in grand finals, bro.
Yeah,
if you look at the teams that ended up there, probably in grand finals.
Could have easily been. I agree with you.
And Crew,
for sure,
in my opinion, had a really good chance of ultimately, I don't want to say beating the teams that are there, because G2, I was surprised by G2 beating Crew too. But
bro,
Crew would have had a better chance of beating any of those teams than Leviathan. And it's just like, dude.
Crew just crumbled, bro, after their loss, and they couldn't bounce back at all.
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate for sure. But like, yeah, I mean, I'm surprised by that. So 100 Thieves winning 3-0, I was certainly surprised by it. I would never have predicted it, right? I thought they would make top 3. I think we talked about this because, LOUD, just the way things went.
I thought, bro, you know what I thought it was going to be? I thought G2 wasn't going to make it because I thought Crew, Lev, and 100 Thieves were going to make it.
Same.
But then Crew,
that's what I thought.
But then G2 just woke the fuck up. Icy just decided to like grow some
mad
big
props to
fucking balls.
For sure. For sure, bro.
And the calling was on fucking point again.
I agree.
Dude, the game planning that G2 has is so good, bro. Man, if I could show like the logs,
which is why the attack on split,
bro,
is absolutely embarrassing, and it made me want to pull my fucking hair out. That split is abysmal.
Yeah, but you know what it is?
Absolutely abysmal. Their attack, because it's not indicative of the prior splits. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This game plan was dog shit, and it's the reason why they weren't in grand finals with advantage.
Yeah, it was kind of a choke, wasn't it? I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, it is what it is. But they still started out hot, 8-4 on split. I thought they had it. I thought it was over. And this is what I envisioned Leviathan would do if they fix it, because you're going up against a team that doesn't like that map too. And you have Ospas who dominated that map. There's no way you don't, going into playoffs, have a pocket split. Instead, they continue to ban it the whole way. And it just goes to show you, in my opinion, why Leviathan ultimately, to me, is not going to reach the heights that people thought they were going to, similar to NRG, is simply because there's glaring holes. The glaring hole for them, Leviathan, as opposed to NRG, is this. They have a really terrible map pool, which means some of their players maybe don't have the game IQ enough to acclimate to some of these, I guess, unconventional maps. And if they don't, you're never going to beat good teams. Example I gave, we hadn't won a Lotus all year. And we played T1, the best team on Lotus, because we spent 4 days and said, where there's no fucking way we're going to win unless we do this. They shouldn't expect this. Obviously, they expected it because they had our scrims, and that's a leak problem that continues to persist, which we talked about in a prior episode. But there's no way you're playing a game for your life and you don't fix a glaring issue like this when noticing a glaring issue like that. And that, to me, was so interesting, right? Leviathan had banned split 8 times up to that point, basically. Ascent 5 times. 100 Thieves knew those are going to be your first 2 bans.
Yep.
You have to switch it up when you want to go deep in playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to prepare a pocket strat or something when you don't have a perfect map pool.
That's the bad thing about having like a dedicated map ban. And that's why I think it's just so important to have a roster like you're talking about that is like so well rounded, like a G2, bro. I can't name a map that you play G2 on that they're gonna like
and they suck at
just flop over. Like I know that they like I know they got owned by Loud on Icebox, but they bounced back right away after that. You know what I mean? Like the match after they owned on it. I think right,
bro. Yes, no, yes, but ultimately that is the point. It's some teams are balanced enough on every map that it gives them a fighting chance in the veto and small advantages, and they need to just make up for other deficiencies in other ways, like game IQ, clutches. There's so many other aspects of the game. But Leviathan with Aspas, who was by far the most destructive force on Split all of last year, except for maybe Jing, but I'd say they were equally like as destructive. There's no way that is a consistent map pool problem. Like, also not having an Ascent in 2024. Are we serious? It's like not having Dust 2. Not having a Mirage.
I hate that goddamn map, but yeah, I agree with you.
What are we doing though? These are like the easiest maps to play. Listen, I understand. You don't have a Vertigo. I get it, bro. You don't have a Fracture. I get it, bro. I understand. But you don't have an Ascent? Like that's cap. And look, I'm not judging because we ban Split a lot too, but we ban Split mainly because of how good teams in APAC are on Split. Or the teams that we had to play against, just how
it's also like annoying, like playing those teams that like run it down on Split, bro. Because like if you don't know how to like if you don't have an answer for like the actual site hits, it's fucking hard, man. Like playing for retake when you're down like 3v5 because your anchors are dead, bro. It's impossible on a map like that.
For sure, bro. For sure. And like we had to go up against small example, Gen G. Double duelist comp, we had to go up against some wild, nasty stuff that like we were just like, all right, in NA, it's an entirely different spec. Like they're not going up against Gen G, they're not going up against PRX on Split. You're going up against like, in Leviathan's case, 100 Thieves who banned this map 5 times in the season.
I actually don't like. I actually feel like 100 Thieves would be really good at Split if they didn't play the Gecko. Like, I know that they cooked up a lot of ideas with it, and I know Boostio likes playing it, but I just feel like if this motherfucker was on Sky, bro, like I just feel like they actually become like solid on the map because 100 Thieves in general have always had like a good foundation, especially on the defensive side of like when to re-clear shit, when to re-aggro stuff with utility as well. And if you're in those spots that they re-clear, you're almost like chances of dying are like 90%, I swear. Like it's pretty up there. Or maybe 75%. Maybe 90 is a little bit too much because they don't always kill. But their set utility they've had ever since like Sean was coaching them on that map and how they move around the map, it's actually like really good. I just feel like they're limited with the Gecko, especially on their attacking side. They do this thing on attack where they'll like take heaven control. And like I understand the idea. They have Wingman basically go run down and plant the spike in like that spot for heaven, But I feel like it's so easily counterable if you just kill the Wingman. The bomb's in the open now of sight, and you just like give them heaven control and just kind of play like that screens back site area, force them to drop. You just kill them for free. And like we saw 100 Thieves lose a split like that. I forgot to who, but
I think Gecko's OP. But I
think Gecko's OP too, but I don't like it on Split.
No, but I agree with what you're saying on Split.
Yeah,
I totally get it. I've tried it. I've thought about it. Ultimately came to the conclusion,
it's not dog shit. Like it's not dog shit because they can still win with it.
And I'm willing to try shit. Don't forget against DRX, we played Sova into a double initiator, right? Like we try to counter them. I'm okay with like unique picks, but yes, there is difficulty sometimes with these characters. Split is sort of like not a great map design, and because of this, certain character like certain compositions are figured out, because it just allows you more flexibility. I'm very curious to what the Viper nerf is going to do. I don't think Cypher's affected on that map at all. I certainly think Viper is cooked on that map.
From what I'm hearing, bro, Viper's cooked on almost every single map. Unless it's a map that you just throw the same orb every single time, bro. It's kind of hard, man. Like, not being able to pick that orb up, man, I don't think people understand how crazy that is. Like, you cannot do your crazy lurk shit on Lotus anymore. No,
shoot. And it kills a player like Mako, for instance, who basically like uses his orb. Like, he'll pick up, bro. He had these sick. Anyways, yeah. Like,
some people we'll get into that shit. Yeah, we'll get into that shit next week. Yeah.
Oh, but anyways, congratulations, 100 Thieves 3-0.
Yeah, congrats.
Good job.
Congrats all 3 teams that made it, bro. Like Guard clearly in that last series in that final, bro. They were clearly just burnt the fuck out, bro. Like, for sure. They just got done playing that crazy best of 5 that had a million delays. They were just done. You know, like, you could tell there was no signs of life anymore. They just flopped over. Even they started out great and it just went downhill from there.
Yep.
100 Thieves having that 2-day break was all they needed. Now let's move on to EMEA, which, I mean, you predicted this shit, bro. I'm gonna keep it like, I think you predicted this to the T, like, from the start, man.
I did.
Like, you predicted that Fnatic was gonna bounce back. I don't think you predicted that they were gonna win it, but you said they could, and then you also said that Foot have a really good chance of making it. And then I think we agreed Heretics over Carmine Corp, right? If there was out of the two.
Yes.
We did that, right?
Yep.
I mean, you were like spot on with this shit, bro. Like, you got a hard read on EU right now. I mean,
yeah, I think
kind of crazy, brother. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, to me, this is the closest region from top to bottom. It's the closest region. It made it very difficult. I think predictions in this region are very hard. It's tough, probably the hardest. The fact that we were correct on most of this,
right?
Very surprising.
I agree.
But yeah, I just think the players are too good. And if you look at what happens in playoffs, so this is something we talked about. Look at the dates: May 8th, May 9th, May 10th, May 11th, May 12th. When you're playing back to back to back to back to back days,
crazy.
You need skill, you need experience, and then you need game IQ. This is inverted in the exact order when you have to play one match a week in the season. So what makes great teams in the regular season, a la KC, great,
prep
the preparation
work.
In the game planning,
yes,
makes them absolutely dog shit when you're playing 5 days in a row. This is Fnatic's biggest advantage in the region. Formats like this
is
where
man.
Fnatic is going to shine. But season 2, they fuck around and they don't improve and get better. This is where they can go back to struggling. But again, season 2 playoffs, I fully expect Fnatic to do well because this sort of format is where they shine. I think the team that obviously I still agree are similar to Fnatic in this way, Na'Vi. I was surprised at just the beatdown Heretics gave them. I didn't think it would be that bad.
Same.
But Na'Vi also has the same potential as Fnatic in a format like this. So
it wasn't that bad, though. It was pretty close. Like, first map 13-11, next map 13-9. I mean,
score is sure, but like, bro, the hero shit that was going on in that first map.
It felt
was insane. But like, in reality, though, macro, when I say Asby, I think I talked about this before, but like, I think macro wins. Like, for instance, go back Talon versus Gen G. Look at the first 6 maps on that Lotus. We didn't get our Asby, even though the score would indicate we got our Asby. We had 6 macro wins. We went down 0-6. Now, the PRX 13-0, we got our Asby. We had no macro wins. So I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that. But the Gen G loss on Lotus, yeah, we didn't get fucked up, bro. The score was bad. But, dog, I'm telling you, when you go back and you study that, we actually should have been up 6-0 and it went the other way. And sometimes that shit just happens and it is what it is. Na'Vi just skill kept them in the game, and ultimately Heretics just beat them. But Heretics won the macro war, in my opinion, like that whole series. So, like, I was surprised by just how easy it looked. But yeah, I mean, congrats to Fnatic. They are what I thought they were.
Literally, that's
exactly what I told you. In the season, you can tell the preparation is going to be a problem. That is going to kill them at champs. If they come in, trust me, champs is not like this format.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get cooked in champs if they continue to be who they have been. But season 1 playoffs, season 2 playoffs, they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But they need to get better. They need to improve. But this team is still probably 1 through 5, one of the best teams in the world. I fully expect them to be able to do very well in Shanghai. I absolutely think PRX is going to eviscerate this team, though, the way they're playing. That I will.
I'd be excited to see that. Yeah, I'd excited. Sure. I'm excited to see that.
The way they're playing, they're going to get cooked. So,
yeah. Heretics, we already talked about them. They're going to play with a sub. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I don't know. So I don't know how much stock we can put in. And FUT, bro, CNET is having a great fucking year again.
FUT is going to obliterate.
Obliterate.
Mark this shit now. The NA teams that go there are going to get fucking cooked by this team. The APAC teams that play foot are going to shove their foot up their behinds. Trust me, bro. Trust me. FUT is the ultimate matchup, problem.
Dude, they're a weird team, man. They play some weird, outlandish comps.
NA is going to struggle, but APAC is going to cook FUT, bro.
Dude, the Lotus comps that they play with the no initiator and they play a Sage, it's so weird, bro. But it works. I mean, I think they got counter-stratted hard by Fnatic this time around. Thank God. By the way, side quest real quick. Am I correct to say that Mini is now back working with them directly, working with the Fnatic guys? Is that a thing? I could have swore I read somewhere that Fnatic was helping him out with this tournament.
It was always a thing. He wanted a sabbatical. He wanted to take his time, and he thought he got a coach that was good enough for them. He was burnt out, needed a break. He had been grinding for almost 3 years.
So he's back now, though.
Boaster. He was always there.
Oh.
Yes. But, yeah. But anyway, no. That's not your fault. That's just me knowing inside shit.
Oh, okay.
He was always there as the number 2. And now he's just more up and center.
He's more hands-on.
Right. Now he's just kind of back now from his, the extra time he needed. And he got it. And it is what it is. And I think maybe it was sped up because of the performance. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But yeah, he was always there behind the scenes. So, but Foot is going to really struggle against APAC because of Breeze, because they have to ban Breeze, and basically they have to ban Ascent and Bind, which are basically APAC maps. You can't stop all the APAC maps, so you're going to get APAC at some point, and they're going to struggle, but they're going to cook NA teams, bro. Watch, watch.
I mean, I'll be casting it, bro. I hope they don't. But sure. Shit, if you're right, you're right, Now, moving on to APAC. This Gen G T1 game was nothing really much to be wanting to talk about. T1 got rolled. But the PRX Gen G final was insane.
Yes, it was. That final was good. Everything else is trash.
Is the truth, though. Jing is still the truth.
A 2-4 team made Shanghai, which I think is still arguably the most laughable thing about this whole year.
Let me ask you a question real quick before we continue.
Talk to me.
You think they gave it to him?
No, I don't think they had a chance.
No. I think you don't think,
I know what you mean. Absolutely not.
You don't think Gen G gave T1 the win?
Homie, the lives of their moms could have been on the line. They're getting stomped the same way. That's all I'm saying. They're 2-4
okay, all right, fair.
Reason,
all right, fair.
Trust me, they are.
All right. No. I'm talking about the upper semi that allowed T1 to actually qualify for Shanghai. Do you think Gen G gave it to him?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant
no. I'm not talking about the lower finals.
Just because they made it.
Opposite way around. Do you think Gen G
threw, and Gen G's lucky because DRX should have beat them. DRX should have beat them 2-0. Look at it.
Okay, so the answer is no. They didn't get
Gen G trolled. Gen G absolutely trolled, and then then we're like, okay, we need to actually dial in here because they trolled. They 100% trolled. They thought it was going to be easy. No. They thought it was going to be easy. If you look at what happened, Gen G ran all of their same sets and bullshit against T1. They didn't really do anything. I'm assuming the T1 anti-strats, because they have 4 coaches. I'm sure Data, I'm sure Curry Curry shot. I'm sure the anti-strat had a real big bonus and helped execute a lot, try to like pinpoint sort of like weak points and blah, 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 blah.
I see it.
Because if you looked at it, Gen.G didn't change anything. And then you look at the lower finals, you see a lot of differences on some of the same maps and some of the same sets, and the cadences are different. And like when they're running things, like I think the 2-for-1 rounds are probably the most obvious changes. But I think, I think Gen.G got a kick in the ass and realized, oh my goodness, bro. And it sucks for DRX because DRX had it. They should have won it. They didn't. Gen.G came right back, heart of a champion, because that team never quits, bro. That's one thing. I mean, you can say what you want about Gen.G. I know people have certainly, accused them of some things that APAC is known for. Wink, wink. But at the end of the day, they do not quit, bro. And they are tough to put away, man. So,
I mean,
DRX
they have
fucked up. Gen.G did it, and boom.
Yeah. They have a bunch of players. Like this Gen.G team has a bunch of players that are still like trying to prove themselves, bro. Like Munchkin, bro. Munchkin's been so good, since Overwatch. I've known this guy since Overwatch. He's never stopped grinding, bro. Lakia, how many times was he like subbing in for a map here and there, and now he's finally here in the limelight. Same shit with me. Meteor has been grinding for forever too, man. The only players I don't really know much about is Texture. Now I know a lot about him because he's a god, but I didn't know much about Karen either, who impressed me a lot. Bro, it's a cool thing, man.
Rongsi, Texture, Monnier were all on GE last year, bro. By the way,
fucking weird.
Man. SK
so weird.
No disrespect to Global. But facts are facts. SK Rossi was duelist over Texture. Dog. Some people just make it hard, yo. Anyway, sorry for the tangent there, but that shit is just unbelievable to me.
What's more unbelievable, that or Yay on Neon?
Oh my god!
By the way, Yay actually didn't even look at on Neon. FYI, just so people out there understand that I'm not actually shitting on Yay here. I'm still just shitting on the fact that it was a decision being made because it's kind of crazy to think about, right? But Yay actually played great on the Neon.
I still think Yay on Neon because of how good he is on other. But still, just the fact that Texture,
but it's still crazy though. Right?
Yeah. It is. Yeah. It's just. It just goes to show you. But no, G2 have good players. They're well coached. Props to them. I certainly thought they deserved to make Shanghai for sure. I absolutely think that them trolling DRX basically was a huge problem because DRX.
I know, man.
Not out of Team One, it wouldn't even.
I wanted to see DRX play on the stage, bro. But I'm happy.
Listen, I thought DRX were the best team in the world. I told this to Alex, and I apologized to him because I was I thought they were the best team in the world, and then PRX absolutely. Look, it was close 2-1. It was not close. PRX from start to finish actually had control. Some rounds were thrown, and DRX obviously are champions. So or not actual champions, but they're very talented people and players. So they made it close, but PRX clearly little brothered them,
dude,
and then just ran through everybody else, and so respect there.
There's just something
put
about
up a good fight though. Gen.G's tough, bro. Gen.G to me is a match. So PRX. Like, Gen.G's a matchup problem for PRX. That's why it's so close. And DRX struggles against PRX. But to me, DRX are better than Gen.G. So it just doesn't... Bro, these results are just so weird, bro. We
need one of those like whiteboards. We need to get you a whiteboard where you could like try to connect all the dots, bro.
Bro, it's just
PRX,
so crazy,
PRX, Excurrent, fucking is...
Bro, APAC is just so nutty, bro. I think APAC is incredibly top heavy, and I think that is what makes us like kind of weird. Like I know like so people were saying I mean I won't say any names, but there are people that basically have T1 still above Talon, like in terms of APAC power rankings. And I just like, I mean I get it, they're making Shanghai, but like bro, a 2-4 team is making a major, bro. Like, come on, bro. Let's get
kind of
weird.
That is kind of weird. It's kind of weird. But I think it's more so. I think it's less of them making Shanghai more so than them just having the names that they have on the team, right? They have Saya player who he's had notoriety since Overwatch, and then the guard, right? You got Carpe, who's like one of the Overwatch goats. Like he's actually like he's one of this, like when you think of Overwatch, you think of Carpe on Hitscan. Like he was one of the goats of that. Rossi, who's just didn't really make sense to me at the time, but he's been playing good. You know, he's actually honestly Rossi's probably one of the better players, bro, on that roster.
Because NA is so talented for sure, but crazy. It just goes to show you that the lack of development in Asia, the lack of game IQ in Asia. First off, and I'm not even trying to be disrespectful towards Rossi because this is not where I'm going with this. It's actually more a compliment but I know it could be taken the wrong way. But like, he probably has the highest game IQ in T1 from what I'm hearing.
Dude, no, but
that's
like, listen,
my point.
The kid
Rossi's
actually
game
like
IQ was never like. I mean, sure, obviously he's not. He is a smart player, but even I'm sure he would tell you that his game IQ was not his number one asset in Tier 2 North America. How is it that he has the highest game IQ in Tier 1 APAC, bro?
Yeah, he played on my team, bro. I know. Like he wasn't the smartest player. The cool thing about him though is he can learn very fast, which is
because he's a smart person. Like,
and again,
this isn't. Yeah, like I don't even want to question him.
I wish I would have gave him more time, bro. I wish I would have given him more time
for sure.
Again, going back to that, but
yeah, because he has the chops. It's just to me crazy that he has the highest game IQ of that team, and I'm like, wait a minute, really? Like
you learned from me and Poise, bro.
For sure. And look,
I'm just kidding, bro. I'm not going to take credit.
I'm just saying, like, it just goes back to what I'm saying about NA.
Yeah.
Like, if he can come,
NA's talented,
dude.
Yeah, NA's talented, bro. I would love to play overseas, bro, in an APAC region.
You should.
My play style,
trust me.
I know you would. Meant for this shit,
brother,
bro. I can really show. You know how you talk about how PRX low bros a lot of teams. I would be right there with them, bro. I'd be low broing everybody left and right. I swear, bro.
Listen,
but the way that I play the game, bro. Just give me a month, bro. Give me a month of aim training, bro. I'm back. Promise you that.
The thing about APAC is mechanically though, they're a better region than NA. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
That's what's so wild about
and China, by the way, and China, dude. China's got some shooters, brother. China's got some fucking shooters, bro.
I know, bro. But like,
I've known since fucking Crossfire, bro.
Yeah,
the fastest operas I've ever played in my life, in my career, bro. In a game where when you peek, it's so fast. These motherfuckers will quick scope you on a fucking pixel angle, bro. Because the op in Crossfire is kind of like the op in 1.6, how it's like instant quick scope.
Yeah,
that's how it is in Crossfire, bro.
And
these guys, I mean, you saw it. DG Zin.
Yeah, I know. Yes, this is why me and DG Zin also had. I'm so glad you mentioned that. This is why me and DG Zin fought so much. Because remember, you know,
try to run around quick scope for people, but you can't do it.
F3 had, well, it's more the angle thing, which I'll tell you in a second. Flipside had the first foreign team to play at CFPL, like live in China and play in CFPL.
Oh my God! Wait, were you a part of that?
Of course, bro. FaZe, me, bro. Luca, like, yo, shout out to the boys. This is what I'm saying. Like, no one knows this. I don't really talk about this, but trust me.
CFPL, I have a lot of Crossfire. You talking about Crossfire or CS?
Yes, the Crossfire Pro League was nothing but Chinese
those guys,
teams,
bro.
Yes. So FaZe was like arguably the best Westerner in the world. Luca, my IGL, who I still talk to this day.
By the way, we're not talking about FaZe.org, everybody. There's a guy named FaZe.
PHAZE.
He was actually like one of the best IGL. One of the best IGL operas in Crossfire in the European region.
Right.
He was sick.
Right. And DG Zin
doing it.
Yeah, and right. Yes, he is. And DG Zin and Mazin won a world title like 3 years later. Right. Mm-hmm. So like we placed second at CFPL. Like, so we were the best foreign team because okay, I don't want to get into this because like a lot of people don't know. But like,
got lucky, bro, with seeding, bro. I never forget
Chinese client. Yes, Chinese client. The CFPL. It's a different game. Crossfire for China is a different game than everywhere else. And
so
you know this better than anybody, right? So
Wall
like for instance,
M4,
one of the games,
they use fucking smoke goggles, bro. It's crazy.
Right. So Flipside was the best team in that game, not so crazy, the Chinese version, but obviously we won our right to be able to play in the Chinese version. So we had to learn a new game effectively, right?
Yeah, literally.
But anyways, 3 years later, once they started adding foreign teams, where we were the first team to do it, Mazin and DG Zin win a world title. They actually beat the Chinese teams. So DG Zin, remember, I got FaZe and Luca, and like I know Crossfire.
Yeah.
He's trying to do things in Valorant, and I'm like, homie, you can't. I have CS experience, Valorant experience. I had Nitro, in Berlin, diffing CNED. He's opping. I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what to do here. And then I have DG Zin in my games trying to do stuff, and I'm like, DG, you can't do this, buddy. Like, you're giving up angle advantage by doing this. He just didn't want to hear it. He was like, fuck this guy. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. It's like, what do you mean I don't know what I'm talking about, bro? You want a championship in a game that I already did way before. I got like 8 majors in CSGO. I'm around people like Nitro and Ye. Like, what are we talking about, bro? But like, this is the problem. Because Crossfire players, and you can attest to this, you guys are just hot nasty. CS players are more like safe. I mean,
consistent, stable, good foundation. It's the foundation Guardian, is what it is, bro. It's the foundation.
CS has some really aggressive people. Art on Furia, for sure. But for the most part, safety, like safe opping is like more important. But in Crossfire, the oppers are the most aggressive fucks imaginable. And you cannot play in Crossfire if you do not have a heart of a lion.
Yep.
You can't.
Yep.
In Valorant, you need a mixture, which is why you brought up what you said about Cryo, about like, look, now he has a tempo switch. Look how fast he's playing. You need to be able to be Aspas, where you could be hot, cold, where you could basically bait someone. You can hold an angle for 45 seconds, or you could basically just blitz them, schmeeg it, right? Like, you need the ability to do both. And I think it's so hard for people, especially Crossfire players, to like understand this concept. But yeah, so like, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I got that shit off my chest, because I've been sitting on that shit for so goddamn long. Fuck, bro.
Perfect timing, man. Perfect timing. Dude, Crossfire, an underrated game. I don't think people realize, like...
It's really CS 1.4, actually.
It is.
That's what people don't know. It's a Chinese rip of 1.4.
Yep.
And by the way, people won't believe this. Yeah. It's $1 billion game. It is the most... It is like one of the most profitable video games ever. People don't even realize this.
Brother, when I mean, you know this, but just so everybody else out there knows, these motherfuckers had the Elder Flame as one of their first ever skins in the game.
Yeah.
They've been had that shit, bro. They've been having custom skins like the ones we see in Valorant for like 10 plus years. I don't know how long the game's been out, but like they made this shit. They made the all the dope skins, bro. I know, like even CSGO copied the skins from them and all that shit, bro. Like the skins are insane in Crossfire. They got hella packs, bro. Yeah, that game is still probably one of the most played games in China to this day. And by the way,
it's just and so many talented players have come from that game.
Yep. I guarantee you, if you ask the EDG guys or any of the Chinese teams that are competing, they probably all started playing Crossfire at some point.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes,
for sure, bro.
Yes,
for sure, man.
A huge contingent of that. It wasn't CS:GO. It's Crossfire.
Yep. And it's funny. Like so back when I was playing, because I was so young when I played, I was like 15, 16, going to internationals, bro. Like WCG and shit like that. One of my NA teams was the first like international team outside of like, the China region to actually beat a Chinese team in a series, bro. We beat a team called HG at LAN at like one of the WCGs or something like that. And I'll never forget this shit, bro, because we had every other Chinese team behind us, because this is back in the day when you played across from each other, for the group stages. Before you had to earn the right to get on the fucking stage, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure you were in the semifinals to get on that stage. But we had all the Chinese guys behind us, bro. Every competitor to those guys that played in the CFPL with them, against them, and everything. And it was HG at the time, who was one of the top teams, like top 3 team over there. Bro, we fucking clapped them. We had all of them cheering us behind, like we were dabbing them up in between rounds. I was doing the boostio shit where I got a crazy 1v5 clutch. Bro, I'll never forget, I got a 1v5 clutch on Port. You know Port?
Yep.
I got a 1v5 clutch on Port, bro. Retaking B site, man. From fucking A. I 1v5 this team. I fucking stood up like Boosie. I was like, I dabbed up hella Chinese guys behind me, bro. They were all laughing at the HG guys. We ended up taking the entire series, bro. It was so funny, bro. So funny, man.
Damn,
Just reliving the past real quick. Oh my god, that's good.
I think bro. First off, I don't think the World Cyber Games is even around anymore, but I think the last time I went to China was WCG. I think it was 2016, and I went with the Crossfire guys. So it's like,
I wonder if I was there, man, because I think that's when I went.
It was in Taikang. It was in Taikang, China.
Dude, I think I went. Or no, you know what, bro? I was supposed to go. I actually qualified for it, and I gave my spot away because I had almost died in China the last time I went. So I just didn't want to do it. I was like, bro, I'm not ready to go to China right now. I made like the qualifier money, but I qualified for that event, and I gave my spot away to somebody else because there was an NA team that composed of like Zotek and I think Ragin maybe subbed in. You know Ragin?
What was the name? Yeah,
I don't remember the name. But it was an NA team with X Famous X. I don't know
because I know we lost to VG Panda in the finals of that tournament. Actually, we lost to VG Panda TV or whatever.
WCG 2016. I could have swore I qualified to go to that thing, and I just didn't go.
Yeah, but I hadn't heard of that series in a while. But this is an example of like, look, like, you know, you and me had no idea that we were like in that circle. You know what? 2016.
Dude, I didn't even put two and two together, bro.
Right. But like, this is what I'm. Yeah. So like, it's just crazy how that all works out and just how life is in general. But yeah, bro, like, you know, I used to have discussions with DG about this stuff, and it was just like, you know, it's just like real. Like you have to like, you know, break through your experience with Crossfire to Valorant, and you have to try to, you know, adopt what you can and adopt what you can't.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know, these are things that pros go through and things happen, you know, and it's just like,
bro,
you know,
I found it, bro. I can't fucking believe it.
Let me.
I found the link,
can
bro.
You link it to me on Discord?
Sorry, yeah, I'm gonna link it in Discord right now. This is so. Look, I legitimately look at the roster for the NA team that's there, and look at the name. You're gonna see it instantly. Is that not crazy?
That is Anixia.
Is that not crazy?
I was there. I was there, bro. With my look.
Met you there. I should have went, bro. I should have went. That would have been so crazy, bro.
That is crazy. And who knows? Maybe in 2021, after 100 Thieves, when I was gonna go to FaZe, because remember, we would have had the ties already. We would have had that 100%. Connection already. Yeah, I would have been there.
Holy shit!
You would have actually won something. My bad. You know,
dude. No, but that's what we needed. We needed at the time. We needed one. We needed an IGL. And we needed a coach that like actually coached, you know, that knew how to coach. Like you were seasoned.
And I would have had a good relationship with flyuh because I ended up coaching him afterwards, and me and flyuh hit it off, bro. Me and flyuh still shit. Like, yeah, bro. Me and flyuh.
Like flyuh is great, bro. Shout out to flyuh, bro.
I love it, bro.
By the way,
the
turned down
17 years old. 17 years old, bro. IGL.
Yep.
When I was blown away.
Yep. He was sick.
17.
Man.
So I'm not surprised by anything Moist is doing now because I know he got it. But yeah, but that is so crazy. You were on that fucking team on Anixia. That is wild.
Well, we should end the show I didn't go to the event, but I qualified with them.
I don't know, but that's the point though, that you actually, I see it.
Yeah. It's nuts. I can't believe that they have my name down there when I didn't even attend the event, but they just knew. They're like, I'm a staple in that shit.
Because you qualified. Because you qualified. Yep. So that's probably why. But yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy, bro.
Fucking Vici, bro. Motherfuckers, bro.
Yeah, bro. Those guys are, man. Anyways.
So good, bro.
Yeah.
That guy 18.
18 Lin, bro. That's one of the guys that
monster, bro.
Bro, he was a part of one of the first teams I beat, bro. He was a part of it.
He is,
and then I actually played him in
though.
Brazil, and he went crazy. He beat us in the finals in Brazil. We played a tournament there.
He was a monster. But yeah, Crossfire.
Bro, Crossfire is fun, man. It's fun. I might have to play when I'm in China, bro. I might have to.
I respect.
About to get my S pops on, bro. My Silence Them 4, bro. Shit.
I definitely respect that, bro.
My God. All right, guys. That's it for episode 6 of SpikeTalk. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got off track a little bit. We talked about Crossfire, but I'm sure you guys are gonna enjoy it. And
we gotta educate these fools.
Yeah, for real. We'll be back again next weekend. We got a guest that we're gonna be just shooting the shit with, and just that's when we're gonna do our main predictions. We talked about a little bit of predictions, specifically you did about how you think the certain matchups of the regions are gonna go, but we're gonna get way more in depth in this next episode coming up for next week. And I'll actually be in Shanghai when it releases, so that's gonna be fucking cool. And yeah, man, thank you everybody for watching. If you got this far, drop a like, sub, all that jazz, man. And oh wait, should we do some answering of questions, or you want to do that for the next episode? We're running low on time right now. All right, we're gonna answer your questions next week. We'll use the questions that you guys not only did for the previous episode, but this one that's releasing as well. So keep asking questions, whatever you guys want to know. Could be about anything. Could be about Crossfire. Could be about Valorant. Could be about CS. Could be about real life shit. Who knows? Just ask whatever you guys want. We enjoy the feedback, and see you guys next week. Later.